Hi everybody, I'm here to report on yesterday's 4-1 win at Ibrox against Aberdeen. And to say it was a comfortable win is an understatement. Rangers had total domination. Aberdeen hardly offered any kind of threat right throughout the match. Scored a goal thanks to our, as some people were saying afterwards, fanning about inside and outside their own box to gift them a goal that got it back to 2-1. But apart from that, I can remember one shot they had in the second half into the side netting when the guys should have put it across the other side of the goal. That was their sum total. They had one shot on target, and I think they had 6 shots at goal, something like that. So total domination. This is a poor Aberdeen side. They got stuck in, they were organised, all the rest of it. 5 at the back. But we still managed to score 4 goals in the end, and it should have been a lot more, actually. Should have been 5 if it hadn't been yet again for the, I would say, corruption of the VAR team whenever it looks at our goals and decides how can we best find a reason to chalk it off. So we'll come back to that later. Good first half, totally dominant, as I say, playing well, nice passing, going forward. I can only remember 2 chances we missed, both from Chermite, although I thought he had a good game because he held it up, laid it off, some nice little touches and flicks to his teammates to keep a move going. So he had a good game, but he did miss one real chance and one crowded box. He got up well to header it, and it went over the bar. He should have done better, but the better of the 2 chances was when he's put through on the left-hand side of the box. I thought it was offside. Having seen that again in TV, the flag didn't go up. It didn't look as offside as I thought, and he fired it into the side netting instead of on target. So that was a poor effort. But apart from that, I thought he had a good game, actually. When the goal came, it was a nice little chip from Raskin to the left side of the box, just outside the box, and Romans pounced on it, brushed the guy aside who was trying to get to the ball, got into the box, byline, looked up, cut it back perfectly for Mikey Moore. His first time shot was blocked by a defender, and it bounced out, 20 yards, right in the centre of the park, 20 yards out, and Chukwani just guided it into the net. It wasn't hit with great force or anything, just a beautiful shot from 20 yards into the net. So 1-0 up, we thought that's it. It's only a question of how many. We've broken them down. Stayed like that at half time. Second half, early on, we score a second, and we're thinking that is really it. It's just a question of before 5, whatever. Second goal, that was a nice move. Raskin tackled the guy on the halfway line, dispossessed him, actually passed it forward to Nadiri. He drove forward right up the middle of the park, just outside the box. Lovely little layoff to his left for Moore. He took it into the box, checked onto his right foot and sent a lovely shot right into the corner, low into the corner. Great goal. 2-0, that's definitely the game finished. We can all relax for the second half. And then a few minutes later, as I said, Butland has the ball in his box. He passes it, I think, was it to Fernandez? Out on the left, he passes it into the box for Raskin. He thinks he can do a little pirouette with the guy bearing down on him, and he managed to get away with it. That was all bad enough. Then he passed it to Moore, just outside the box. Moore, it might even have been inside the box. Moore passes it just outside the box to Chukwani, and he tries to pass it across to Fernandez, who's on the left-hand side of the box. And of course, the Aberdeen guy intercepts it. 5 seconds later, it's in the net. So that's what we get for fanning about, as the fans were saying. Disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. Thankfully, we didn't give Aberdeen too long a boost because we got the third goal quite soon after that. And that was from a free kick, another hopeless free kick from Tavernier, a hopeful punt into the middle of the box, crowded box. I bet he gets an assist for this, by the way, from the Tav lovers. It actually hit the Aberdeen defender on the head, I think. I don't think he headed it, just hit off his head. Thankfully, it went about, 2 or 3 yards towards where Raskin was, about maybe 6-yard line, and he just prodded it into the back of the net. So, great goal from that point of view, a poacher's sort of goal, back to 2-goal lead, so everything was looking good again. Oh, wait a minute, a VAR check for handball. They'll do anything to deny us a a goal, but there was nothing there. Aberdeen were lining up as if it was a foul in the box, but the referee, when he got his VAR decision, found the right decision, and it was kick-off to start the game again. So 3-1 up. It's just a question of how many. Aberdeen had a wee spell where they twice, I think, the sub Kierkennen ran up the right wing and he got by Fernandez too easily, and once he got by Romans as well. It was as if the two of them were struggling with fitness. Romans eventually got subbed. Fernandez stayed on, but he didn't look as fit as if he'd had a knock. So anyway, apart from that, there was no danger. We got the elusive fourth goal. Great goal. What happened now? Gassama, he gets out in the left. I thought he could have out-muscled the guy, just left of the outside the box, out-muscled the guy, bore into the box, cut it back. Mikey Moore did a lovely little flick backwards, and there was Miovski, the sub, just firing it into the net. Great goal. Oh, wait a minute, a VAR check. Handball. Nobody saw a handball anywhere, so it was all a big mystery. Goal chalked off. Saw it later on TV. The handball came from the Aberdeen guy, and I counted this, 15, 16 seconds beforehand, firing a pass or an attempted clearance or something, just aimlessly up the middle of the park. The ref actually ducked and had his back to what happened, so he didn't see anything because he thought it was coming towards him. That's McDermott, St Matthew McDermott, by the way. So he ducked, had his back to it. It hits off the sub Barron's arm or hand. I don't know if it was probably his arm. Hits off him, bounces away. Then we start the move. 4 or 5 Rangers players must have touched it from then on. An Aberdeen guy actually headed it from inside his box to out into the wing. And that's where, as I said earlier, Gassama got control of it. So 16 seconds, the ball moved about, 40, 50 yards. Various movements, various players touching the ball, goes in the net, and they pull it back for a handball 16 seconds before, 40 yards away from the goal. And if you look at the rule is if somebody handballs it inside the box, well, it doesn't need to be inside the box, but if a forward handballs it and then shoots and it goes in the net, you rule it off. If another player handballs it, a teammate handballs it, and then a few seconds later it goes to the guy who's going to score, that's allowed. And they pull this back for a guy right in the middle of the midfield accidentally hitting off his arm, and then 16 seconds later, after a move of various people touching it, it goes in the net. They pull that back for a handball. That is just cheating. That's all it is. They're looking for anything to chalk it off. There's no way that should be chalked off. And Rangers should be calling this out. Now, somebody in the club should be saying, we are fed up with these ridiculous VAR decisions, and getting apologies from Cardinal Colum a month later to say, oh yes, that was a mistake. That should have stood, or that should have been a penalty for Rangers, or whatever. Just absolutely shocking. That is one of the worst decisions. Coming on top of the non-penalty Paisley last week, that just sums it up. A handball that disqualifies a goal, 16 seconds later, umpteen touches, various players being involved, just ridiculous. And who was on VAR? Oh, McLean, the fifth most anti-Rangers ref in the whole shebang. He was on VAR, and he was the one that didn't give us a penalty at Paisley last week. And who's the referee going and having a look at it? Oh, St Matthew McDermott, the third most anti-Rangers referee in the whole shebang. So we're really up against it. We've got to call this out before it costs us the title once we get to the split and we're getting these sort of nonsense decisions. So anyhow, the fourth goal eventually did come in injury time. Free kick, about 20 odd yards out. One of Tavernier's best for probably months, if not years. Beauty, right into the top corner, right footed over the wall. Great free kick. Half the stadium had gone by that time, so most people like me didn't actually see it. I left just before that. So, fourth goal, justly deserved. Great free kick from Tavernier. It's about the only thing right that he did. He had another shocker of a game, overhit passes, terrible corner kicks, all the rest of it. So at least he did something. Nobody had a bad game. Probably Asgard was the least effective, but even he did some good things. So nobody had a bad game. Even Tavernier did a couple of good things as well, but he shouldn't be starting these games. I'm hoping the manager's saving Sterling for the split games against Hearts and Celtic, because we'll really need them then. So great 3 points. As it stands right now, on Sunday morning, we're second in the league. We've got a better goal difference than Hearts and Celtic. So let's hope Dundee United, with Jim Goodwin in charge, can do something against Celtic. I'm not banking on it.